that this is my dharma or this is my duty. Whatever may be the consequence of it, let me just follow the higher authority. And that is what is to be done, actually. Scripture says so. But Prabhupada also writes in Bhagavad Gita that obligation is there only if the result of that obligation is good, right? So this statement makes it very clear that for someone who does not know about paradharma, who does not know about devotional service, for him, who is just a religious man or woman, for him, this is the highest principle. What is that? That uh, as a matter of etiquette, uh, following the social code of conduct, if I'm obliged to do something or I'm obliged to act in a certain way, I should do that, right? I should just do that, and that's the best thing for me to do. But for someone who's interested in paradharma, devotional service to Krishna, then one has to be thoughtful that even if sometimes there is obligation, but by being obliged, I'm not actually coming closer to Krishna, or I'm not able to perform devotional service better, then there is no meaning to that obligation. There's no value to that obligation, right? Isn't it? So this rule of engaging in devotional service overrules all other rules. This rule that I'm getting a chance to serve Krishna, and therefore what should I do? So the rule is that if you're getting a chance to serve Krishna, then that's the best opportunity, isn't it? For that, if you overrule anything else, then it's okay. It is acceptable by the scripture. The scripture is not going to reproach you or condemn you for doing that act. And we have plenty of examples for that, isn't it? Like, can you give some examples where people, devotees, they broke the social etiquette, manners of social etiquette, the general understanding of dharma for Krishna consciousness or for devotional service? Are there examples like that in the scripture? Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
There are. Give some examples. You said yes, so give some examples. No examples. Are the devotees really listening to the class?
For sure they are listening, Prabhu. I'm sure.
Huh?
I'm sure they are listening, Prabhu.
So then why there's no response? No response means either you are inattentive or you are uneducated on the subject matter. Examples? Did I ask a very tough question?
Example. You're just thinking of,
You give me one example, not so many, just one example. Where personalities, they not care for social obligations, rules, code of conduct, mannerism, for the sake of Krishna consciousness or devotional service.
I don't know if you can quote Dhruv Maharaj Prabhu. I mean, though his intention was not for, initially devotional service, it was mainly for the middle position. But
It seems you did not understand my question.
One example, Prabhuji, where the Brahmana Patni's example actually, they actually the everything was prepared for sacrifice for their husbands, right? For the sacrifice, but uh, but they offered them to Krishna and Balram. So
Hmm.
instead of giving the preparations, food preparations to their husband, when Krishna and Balram came to their doorsteps, they directly offered them.
Well, they were not supposed to give it to their husband. Those preparations were meant for offering into the sacrifice which their husbands were doing. So they just took those preparations and offered to Krishna that he is the object of sacrifice. So why not directly give to him? So what did they do? They neglected their uh, duty as a wife in one sense towards their husbands, right? They
Yes.
didn't oblige to their duty to listen to the husband or to disrespect the husband. No, to respect the husband, they just went to Krishna and Balaram. So yes, that is one good example. There are many such examples. Someone put in the chat
Correction.
of Gopis of Vrindavan. Yes,
Correction.
Gopis of Vrindavan. Yes, Vanilla Mataji.
Haridas Thakur Prabhu, like he was born in a Mlecha family. As per social etiquette, he should be considered as untouchable. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established him as Namacharya.
Okay, fine. So no social obligation observed there. Yes, that he was entitled as Namacharya, and he was also respected like that. And Mahaprabhu would embrace him, Mahaprabhu would touch him, right? Though Hindu society will not accept something like that, Brahminical society, Mahaprabhu would do that. Anything else? Any other example?
One more example from Chaitanya Charitamrita only, where his servant were tried to cross Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sleeping, lying,
No, that is not the example, suitable example here. I'm asking you for where there was social obligation, and
okay.
as a
Mhm.
matter of fact, there was an consideration of etiquette, but they let go. There's so many examples. Uh, Prahlad
Krishna,
Maharaj, though he is a son, is denying to follow the orders of his father Hiranyakashipu, right? That is an example.
Prabhuji, Kuber Maharaj's sons,
How?
like in front of Narad Muni, they appear, right?
No,
They-
I'm not asking you for where they did something wrong. I'm asking where they did not consider social etiquette and they gave more, uh, you know, importance to devotional service. So how Nalpur
Pra-
and Madhusudhan
Yeah,
Vishnu
Prabhuji, if not for history, Prabhu, just going by the practical, in the real time society, real time current society, Prabhuji, if some devotee is planning to go to temple, but he has broken traffic signal and going to temple, I don't know,
Well,
he can come.
that is okay. That is an example, but that's not a very big thing to do. But here we are talking about something very big. So, Prahlad Maharaj disrespecting or not obeying his father, Bali Maharaj not listening to his guru Shukracharya, right? We have so many examples. The gopis,
Vibhishan.
Vibhishan not listening to his brother and king. Mhm. Right? And so there are so many such examples. So similar, now who can understand this? Only someone who has knowledge of Paradharma, devotional service. So therefore, um, we, being in a society of devotees belonging to this ISKCON society, as well as we belonging to the general society of ordinary people who are not devotees. Though we have to follow the societal rules and regulations as a matter of etiquette, but at the same time, that should not be given the highest importance. What should be given the highest importance is Paradharma, devotional service to Krishna, right? Isn't it? Hmm? Um, Why did we join ISKCON? Did we join ISKCON because we were too much interested in getting aligned with some spiritual institution? We wanted to be part of an institute. Just because we wanted to be in some authoritative position in that institute? Well, no. ISKCON is an institute created by Srila Prabhupada because that institute facilitates execution of devotional service. Right? So why have I joined ISKCON? I have joined ISKCON for devotional service, for bhakti to Krishna. That's paradharma, right? And that should be always the focus of my Krishna consciousness. Just like we may sometimes get carried away by the social obligations in the general outside society. Sometimes we also get carried away by the social obligations within the society of ISKCON. And it's not that we should not be doing that because we are a part of the organization and society. We should be doing that also, but that's not paradharma. That's not the highest, occupational duty of a living entity, right? The highest occupational duty is what? Developing love for Krishna, developing love for serving the Vaishnavas, serving the sadhus. That's the main point. Just like, I'll give you an example. The gopis of Vrindavan, they lived in Vrindavan. So do you think at that time when they were living in Vrindavan, Vrindavan also had some kind of government policies? No. Must be having, no? Right? If some people are living together, they'll make some rules, no? Community rules or societal rules, they'll make, isn't it?
Right.
So when the gopis were living in Vrindavan, Nand Maharaj was their king, pure Vaishnava. And Nand Maharaj, being the king of the village, must have made some rules for all the residents of Vrindavan, inhabitants of Vrindavan to follow. So, because the gopis were living in Vrindavan, and everyone else who were living in Vrindavan were also kind of devotees only, mostly, yes. So the gopis must be having some relationship with everyone in Vrindavan because they were living in Vrindavan. But at the same time, the gopis must be also having some very close friends individually. Right or wrong? No? Or the gopis, let's say XYZ gopi, would be equally friendly to everyone in Vrindavan, bosom friend. Is that possible? Or in reality, there were some gopis to whom that particular gopi would be more friendly, more intimate, more close in heart. What do you think?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It is possible, Prabhuji.
What is possible?
Being intimate to few of the gopis, one gopi might be intimate to few of the gopis, Prabhuji.
At the same time, that gopi would
Yes.
have a respectful relationship with
Yes.
all the residents of Vrindavan, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And sometimes in the devotional service that gopi wants to do to Krishna, some other resident of Vrindavan might also become an obstacle.
Possible, Prabhu.
Possible. Why not possible? Conflict of interest.
Yes.
Possible. So though that gopi would be living in Vrindavan, and for her, everyone in Vrindavan would be like a devotee, someone whom should be respected. No offense should be committed. You should also act as a matter of etiquette, right, towards everyone. But still, that gopi would have some close friends, some special friends. And though that gopi would have some special friends, close friends, still, that gopi's life is not that friendship alone. That gopi's life is Radha and Krishna. Isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu.
Similarly, when we are in an organization like ISKCON, we will have to be nice and good with everyone. Yes, that is true. As a matter of etiquette, also as a matter of understanding that they are Vaishnavas. But at the same time, you will also have some very close devotee friends with whom you can share your intimate heart. You know? Right. And that's not the end. Just having that friendship is not enough or sufficient. The main goal is what? Radha Krishna Pranamora Yugala Kishore. That Radha and Krishna, the Supreme Lord, they should become our life and soul. Right? So we have obligation towards Radha and Krishna. We have obligation towards the spiritual masters. We have obligation towards very close Vaishnava friends we have. And also we have obligation towards all the devotees in general. Right? Hmm. So what kind of obligation do we give highest priority? Just the society level obligation? Or the obligation that we have towards those who are very close to us in heart, those Vaishnavas? And what about the obligation that we have towards our spiritual masters, the acharyas? And what about the obligation that we have towards Radha and Krishna, the Supreme Lord? Isn't it? So understanding all this with a very broad mind and a big heart, maturing our consciousness, we should make decisions in life when we come in a precarious situation, just like Vishwarupa is in now. Vishwarupa was in a very precarious situation, but he thought, it's okay, my seniors are asking me, and even if it is at the cost of self-sacrifice, let me sacrifice. And he did make a big sacrifice, he lost his life at the end. Uh, The person whom he helped, that person killed him. Indra killed him. Indra chopped his head off. He died. So he paid a big price for the sacrifice he made. And Bhagavatam doesn't talk about what was his further destination. Definitely Vishwarupa must not have gone back to God. That's for sure. Because he did not do this act as an act of devotional service to Krishna. He did it just as an obligation. My superior is asking me, let me do it. So we have to be very careful. Though such a situation should not arise in our life that we are so troubled, we are not able to decide. But if any situation does come, we have to not forget the essence. The essence is I have to be completely sold out at the lotus feet of Supreme Lord Radha and Krishna and my spiritual masters, the acharyas. And that's my highest obligation. There is no other obligation which is higher than that. Right? Isn't it? That is the teaching of pure Vaishnavism. Pure Vaishnavism. That's pure Vaishnava. Who goes beyond all the obligations and gives highest priority to the obligation towards the Supreme Lord, towards pure devotees, towards pure devotional service, and considers that as the highest. When we do take actions or when we take steps in our life based on this understanding, then that is called pure devotional service. Right? Your devotion is not tainted by any material consideration. It's pure. It's the soul's love for Krishna. And that's quite high for us, no doubt. You're not at that level, but we can aspire, we can pray that our consciousness also rises to that level, that we, for us, only service to the Supreme Lord, service to the pure acharyas, personalities, becomes the life and goal, right? And in that situation, then we can remain only obliged towards them and we'll have no other obligations. What is that verse from Srimad Bhagavatam? which Shukdev Goswami said to Parikshit Maharaj. I'm not able to. Devarishi Bhutaptarinam Pitrinam Nayam Kinkaro Rini Charajan. Right? This verse is there. That in general, a person is obliged to 6 categories of beings: the Devatas, the human beings, general living entities, forefathers, right? Animals, the Brahmanas, the priests, rishis. But one who is completely surrendered at the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda, for him, there is no such obligation. Yes, thank you. Sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam kato mukundam parihitya kartam. Right? There is no such obligation, and that person can um, always be engaged in pure devotion service. So that's my thoughts on this particular series of verses. A lot more can be said, but I just wanted to speak on this one topic. So I'll close here. If any questions or comments, you can ask. We have 16 minutes more or 18 minutes more. I'm sure there might be a few questions. The time will go. Yes, any questions, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanyavad pranam. So I have one question, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So when Indra offended Brihaspati, so Brahma orders him to accept the son of Tvasta as a Brahmana, but he was somewhat favorable to the demons. So when he had his favoritism towards demons, why did Brahma suggested him to become a spiritual master? Why not another person?
Brahma did not just give that suggestion. Brahma also warned Indra that he has some inclination towards the demons. So you don't bother about that. You take the good part in the good side of him. Right. So Brahma warned him, and now why he only was chosen, who knows? Only Brahma would know.
Okay.
Maybe he was the only one powerful enough to help Indra at that time. Possible. So why did Brahma make such a decision? That Brahma can tell. Maybe Brahma was told by the Lord from within, you do this. So that at the end, Indra would kill Vishwarupa, and then there will be birth of Vritrasura. So the chain of events can happen in that way. Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question?
But generally, it's very difficult, Prabhuji. I mean, with the kind of obligations, even in the devotee circles, sometimes it comes. It's kind of a very difficult situation to take a call sometimes.
It is. It is. Therefore, one should be very prayerful at that moment. One should ask the Lord and one's authorities. I'm not talking about just the managerial authorities, but one's spiritual authorities for a direction in which one can move forward and take a decision. So no doubt that such situations are very, difficult to handle, and one may feel a lot of pressure. But one should pray to the Lord and also to one's spiritual well-wishers how to handle such a situation. First. Second thing, after you handle such a situation, what then? After handling such a situation, has your faith increased on Krishna? Has your interest in Krishna consciousness has increased? Has your dependence upon Krishna has increased? If yes, then you handled it properly. But if no, then it was not proper. It was not correct. Right? That's why I said obligation is good as long as the result of it is good. Isn't it? The result should be good. Then the obligation is good. So sometimes we can oblige, and then we can learn from a bad experience as well. Right? Sometimes you learn in that way that you oblige and then you understand, no, it was not good for my Krishna consciousness to oblige in that way. The next time I should be careful.
Yes, Prabhu.
So this situation, it comes daily in everybody's life, Prabhuji. Maybe grasta or whatever it may be. The obligation and the paro dharma thing which you have mentioned. But how to handle it the right way, Prabhuji? How to do that actually? You said that if the result is for the Krishna or for the Krishna, then that means you handle it perfectly. But how to this situation comes every day for all of us, right? So how to handle it correctly? Actually,
No, it
if
should not come
we
every
were
day.
taking, if we
What is
were
coming
taking it,
every day is not really a difficult situation.
okay.
Right? What is coming every day is a part of life. That's not a difficult situation.
No,
The
in
kind
the
of
sense,
situation in which Vishwarupa was not coming to him every day.
yeah, but
Right?
for example, the obligations you have mentioned, obligations towards the family, towards the children, parents, towards the
Yeah,
spouse.
then you take that obligation in a Krishna conscious manner. Right? That is an advantage which I can have being educated in Krishna consciousness, which someone else may not be having. Like here, when you study Srimad Bhagavatam, nowhere is mentioned by Shukdev Goswami. What was the mind of Vishwarupa? Nowhere is mentioned that Vishwarupa took it as a will of the Supreme Lord, and he executed his duty as a matter of devotional service to Krishna. It is mentioned he just accepted it as an obligation. Fine, my superiors are telling me they are like my parents. Let me do it. So if we also act in the same way in such a situation, then where is the knowledge of our Krishna consciousness gone? So if we are obliged to act in a certain way towards your parents, obliged to act certain way towards your family, you're obliged to act in a certain way towards the society, being a devotee or practicing devotee, I should do that in more knowledge, right? I should try to see it more in a Krishna conscious manner. That we have, that scope is there, that possibility is there for us. Called perspective. So being in Krishna consciousness, we can learn to develop a Krishna conscious perspective of such situations. In that way, we can have an upper hand.
Okay.
So it's possible by knowledge. Krishna consciousness.
So one more question related to that only, Prabhuji. Yeah, what you said, I could just understand that, but because the examples we are quoting actually, they are pure devotees actually. In the sense, they are at least higher consciousness than me, right? So is that we will be able to handle that way, Prabhuji? Giving importance to Parodharma than the
Giving importance to Dharma, let me honestly tell you, you have to learn to do it. Whether you are a lower devotee or a higher devotee. Now, if you are, let's say, a lower devotee, how do you become a higher devotee? Isn't it? So we have to learn to do that. When we are going through the examples of such personalities, no one is asking us to jump to their level. That is not even possible. But why are we discussing about all of them? Because taking inspiration from them, learning from them, we have to mold our life in such a way that we can also rise to that level of devotional service. Isn't it? Now, how do you mold yourself? That is in your hand. Right or wrong?
Yes, Prabhuji. Correct.
So, it's like I have my Kurukshetra, you have your Kurukshetra, someone else has his or her Kurukshetra. And then, though we are not Arjun, but we have to learn from Arjuna how to fight our own battle in our Kurukshetra.
Yes,
Isn't it?
Prabhuji. Yes.
And when you win in that battle, you are promoted to a higher level of Krishna consciousness as a reward from the Supreme Lord.
Yes.
Fine.
Thank you.
So the thing is, Paradharma should be kept at the force. It should be kept at the forefront of everything. And then we should beg for intelligence from our well-wishers, the Vaishnava Acharyas and the Supreme Lord. Krishna, I'm in this situation. I want to be 100% loyal to you and your devotional service. Please give me the intelligence so that I can fulfill my obligations as well as not miss the point of Paradharma. That should be our prayer, or that should be our approach. But if we take this approach, the boiled down, diluted approach, it's not possible only to execute pure devotional service at this moment or in this situation. Then, do you think Krishna will create a situation for you to become a pure devotee? That everything will be anukul, favorable? Never. That won't happen. Isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hmm. All right.
Prabhuji, just I don't know if I can say recap, Prabhuji. Now, in the situation of Vishwarupa, uh, if he has been given a chance again to, I mean, to if any decision he has taken to correct, if he got a chance. So, if the similar request is coming again, since this particular request is a material desire from Indra, politely he should have rejected, or but there is an obligation. I know we might not get into that kind of a situation, and but so was it, had it been an ideal situation, he should have said no, since it was a material desire and not leading to Krishna.
Let's not get into what Vishwarupa should have done.
Hmm.
We are not trying to say here what he should have done or he should not have done, because we are no one to say that. Right or wrong?
Prabhu, yes, Prabhu, we are
So,
no one to judge him, Prabhu.
so we are just here to learn from that, right? And in our situation, what we should be doing or how we should be thinking. What Vishwarupa should have done, that's not the subject of discussion here, right? But what I should be doing or I should be doing in such a situation, that's what we are discussing.
Now let us apply for the same in our situation as well, Prabhuji. I know on a daily basis, as you said, we will not face this kind of situations, but there is some order from a spiritual master. I mean, in this case, I mean, Brahma has informed, but it is for only the material desire of Indra. But ideally, he should not have accepted, right, Prabhu? I mean,
Why you are talking about Vishwarup? I'm not understanding. Let's say you say, if I am in Vishwarup's position, I will not accept it. Then okay, I can say yes or no.
yes, Prabhu. Got it, Prabhu. Yeah.
Let's not get into the shoes of Vishwarupa.
Mm.
What he did, whether it is right or wrong. That's okay, let it be. If you are in such a situation, what you are going to do? Tell me that.
Ideally, we are not supposed to accept it, Prabhu, but in the same way, the spiritual master also we can't reject, right? I mean, we can't. That's
Well, you can do one thing. You can go to the spiritual master and at least inquire.
Yeah, got it. Right,
That
Prabhu,
you
right.
can
Yeah.
do. Just like Parikshit Maharaj. He's not blindly accepting everything Shukdev Goswami is saying, he's inquiring. Arjuna is not just accepting what Krishna is saying, he's inquiring.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So, in that situation, if you fall in such a situation, you can go and inquire, no, from Brahmaji. That can you please explain to me that you are putting me in this situation? How should I act so that it's more favorable for my Krishna consciousness?
Yes, Prabhu.
I don't think that will be an offense to ask in such a manner. Not at all. Because sometimes even let's say spiritual master is giving instruction, it's not at all an offense to ask the spiritual master, how is this instruction going to help me in my Krishna consciousness?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Got it, Prabhu.
Yes or no?
Absolutely right, Prabhu.
So at least that much we can do. And then the spiritual master says, no, you have to do it only. Trust me, believe me. It is for your own good. It is good for your Krishna consciousness. Then okay, then you do it.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. But really, very sad to hear Prabhuji, the end of Vishwarupa happening like that. It's really very unfortunate, very sad to see that.
That is true. I mean, that's okay. I mean, we are not getting into his personality, his character, what it is was right or wrong. That's not at all. I mean, to breach upon a subject matter in that manner is an offense. So we should not do that, right? Who are we to speak about such personalities? But we are taking a case here, a situation, trying to learn something in us in our life, which will be helpful in our Krishna consciousness. All right.
Got it, Prabhu.
Okay. Any other question or comment? Or it's time we end. 8:30. To stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Madhusudhan Vishnu Prabhu. Thank you very much for obliging once again the request for taking this session, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you.
Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji, Hare
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.